evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's showing of Fragrance Championship Fighting. Tonight, we have an absolutely phenomenal matchup for you. Two of the biggest names in the game, biggest clubbing fragrances going head to head for the title of King of Clubbing Fragrances. Alright, so on the right, as you may have imagined by that title, we have none other than the King Versace Eros. This one is just super sweet, super fun, super lively. It is the perfect clubbing scent. And as of right now, it is the king. Many people say that this one is the king. And on the left side, we have tonight's contender, tonight's challenger, none other than Dior Sauvage EDT. This stuff, as far as composition goes, is pretty much the opposite of Eros. It is woody, it is peppery, it is pleasantly encapsulating. It's a very powerful, very nice, very sexy scent. And I think this one is going to compete quite nicely with Eros. Now, before we get into the matchup, the fighters need to take some time to get ready. So, while we do that, let's get into the video and I'll tell you some of the ground rules for tonight's matchup. Hello and welcome everyone. Tonight we are in for a great matchup. My name's Ryan and I will be officiating tonight's battle. As always, it's going to consist of 3 rounds. We're going to talk about performance, composition, and usability. Right? So it's going to be best 2 out of 3. Winner takes all. Winner takes title of King of Clubbing Fragrances. Alright, but real quick, before things get underway, I just want to mention one thing. Alright? Tonight's battle isn't going to be which one is my favorite and which one you should buy, because I will tell you right now, Sauvage is my favorite. I prefer this one, but tonight's battle, I am going to be objective as possible. I'm going to be focusing strictly on which one deserves the title of King of Clubbing Fragrances. So that's what it's all about tonight. Not my favorite, not which one you should buy, but which one's the king, and if you're looking for a phenomenal clubbing fragrance, which one you should go out and buy. Alright? Okay, well, it looks like the fighters are ready, so let's go down to ringside so we can get a front row seat to the battle. Let's go. The bell has rung, and tonight's matchup is underway. First off, coming out strong, we have Versace Eros. Alright, so the composition in this one, the top consists of mint, green apple, and lemon. The heart notes are tonka bean, geranium, and ambroxan. And the bottom notes are vanilla, vetiver, oak moss, and cedar. Alright, well, first off, I knew this one was special from the second I experienced it. It is just such a sweet punch of mint, citrus, and vanilla. It's powerful, but it's not overwhelming. Perhaps it could be to some people, but I'll mention that in the third round. But the composition is very unique, very citrusy, very fun, lively. This is definitely one that, a bachelor would want to wear out to the club or the bar or the social scene, because this one right here, what this says to me is that I'm just looking for a good time tonight. I'm not necessarily looking for a committed relationship. And I know maybe that's kind of funny, but that's definitely the vibe I get from this one. It is definitely sexy in its own right. And I know you're probably wondering, like, wait up, you just called a fragrance other than a Dior sexy. And I absolutely did. I think this one is sexy in different reasons. It is definitely a playful, youthful scent, and it is very, very attractive. Perfect for the clubbing scene. Next up, we have the contender Dior Sauvage. This one in the top has pepper and bergamot. In the heart notes, geranium, lavender, more pepper, pink pepper, vetiver, and patchouli. And in the bottom, it has cedar and ambroxan. All right, so that ambroxan note is very strong in this one, and it is synthetic. So you might be wondering, like, does that automatically mean this one is below Eros or it's not as good of a quality? But no, that's not the case. In fact, I would probably say that Dior is the best company for kind of mixing these synthetic notes with the natural notes. And I think when both are combined, using the right amounts of each, it just makes for a phenomenal fragrance. And that's what you get with Sauvage. So you get the woody notes, you get the pepper, strong blast of the pepper, you get the sweetness from the bergamot, but you also get a nice hint of the ambroxan. And all combined, it is just a great fragrance. Absolutely one of my favorite. The thing to note though is that the opening is a bit sharp. It's a bit in your face. So I could definitely see people not being drawn to this one in the same way that Eros kind of hooks them in. So this one is more like, I get more of a sense of ruggedness out of it, more of like, I'm a man and I'm confident in my own identity. And if you want to join me and hang out with me and maybe sleep with me, that's great. I'll let you. But I don't care about that. Like, I'm not trying to hook you in. So, in terms of wearing it to the club or the social scene, this one isn't the top choice for me. There's enough about it that would make it work great in that scene, but there's also enough about it that would kind of make it not so great. So even though both fragrances have an incredibly loud and powerful DNA, there's only one that I think would work in every single social situation. And that right there is the winner of the round, Versace Eros. While Sauvage is just as noticeable as Eros, the pepperiness, the bergamot, it creates a very powerful scent that I don't think everyone is going to enjoy right away, and it definitely won't rope people in like this one does. So despite Sauvage being a great fragrance too, I actually prefer that one, like I said initially. But this battle is about the king of clubbing fragrances, and in terms of composition, I have to say Versace Eros takes the round. In terms of performance, for both of these guys, we're pretty evenly matched. I get 12 plus hours of longevity, which is really good. And in fact, these are two of my best performing fragrances. So I'll tell you that right now. But I get 12 hours of longevity, and then I get a solid, strong 2 hours of projection, followed by a good 6 hours of subtle projection. All right. So if you want to get technical, I think Versace Eros lasts perhaps 30 minutes to an hour more. But to me, when you cross that 12-hour mark, I mean, that's literally half the day, man. That's longer than anyone would need a fragrance. So when it passes that mark, it's like, kind of the same. The performance in my book is the same because 12 hours plus is a long time. So I'm not even going to look at the exact numbers, but technically I believe this one lasts just a little bit longer than Sauvage. So I really don't like to do this because I feel it's a little too simple to say that, things are a tie or is a draw. But in terms of performance, it is. I can't think of a way to give one the edge. I mean, like I said, this one does last a little bit longer, but when you're pushing 12 hours, right, you're only going to the club for probably 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Maybe if you're going to multiple places, or maybe you're going to a concert, you're going to be out for 8, 9 hours. But past 12 hours, I mean, come on, performance wise, no one's going to need a fragrance that's going to last that long. And if you think you're going to, I would just reapply at some point, right? So in terms of performance, I kind of hate to do it, but I have to say it's a draw. Both of these guys are winners in my book. Wow, guys, I'm speechless. Versace Eros came out strong with the punches in the first round and took an early lead. But after that second round, all momentum gained has been lost. And now it's anybody's game. We'll have to wait until the third round to see what happens. But real quick, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know in the comments. Do you prefer Eros or Sauvage? Which one do you think deserves the title King of Clubbing Fragrances? Also, remember to share with your friends, your family, everybody else in your life, your priest, your teacher, your doctor, every single person, alright? Share with literally everyone. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You definitely want to get on board with what's going on here, especially if you're enjoying these Saturday night fragrance championship fights. I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to be hot, and you definitely want to get on board with this. And to ensure you're on board and stay up to date after you subscribe, hit the notification bell, alright? Because that way, you'll get notified every time something is published. So if you like fragrance and style related topics and want to see more of these FCF fights every Saturday evening, definitely subscribe. Alright? It looks like the fighters are back and ready to go, ready to conclude this battle, so let's get back to it. Before we really jump into this, I just want to remind you again that this is a battle to determine the king of clubbing fragrances. Therefore, I'm talking about usability or versatility within the context of a social event. Alright, so the answer or the conclusion, the winner, would be different if it were overall better fragrance, in my opinion. But it's not. So first off, Eros. Versace Eros. And let me tell you straight up, this one limited to casual events. It is so fun, playful, youthful, attention-seeking. The composition just screams casual. Alright? Don't try wearing this one anywhere else. And that it makes it very, very linear. Like, you can only use it in one situation. So it also makes it not very versatile. But we're talking about clubbing fragrances, social events, right? This one is a safe choice. This one is great. It would work in any situation, alright? Unless, like, you're going to some award ceremony with a bunch of, like, older professors from your university, or, you know, really mature aged people. This one is going to be safe because it just is an invite almost for people to come up to you and start talking. And like I said before, it hooks people in. So whether you're at a club, you're trying to pick up a girl or girls or guys or whatever, or if you're out and about and you're going to a family party, or you're going to a concert, or you're going to some other social event, this one is always going to be a safe choice. And it has been for me many a times. Alright, I've used this one many different circumstances, many different events, and it always works. It's just a phenomenally casual fragrance, but that makes it extremely versatile within the context of clubbing fragrances. Okay, so next up we have Dior Sauvage. And this one, in terms of overall versatility, you could wear this casually, you could wear this intimately, you could even wear this professionally, depending on what you do. But again, we're talking clubbing fragrances, and as far as that goes, I think this one is a bit less versatile than Eros, and here's why. It's not going to hook people, and it's not going to be as inviting as Eros is. And for that reason, I only see it working in certain social events. So, yeah, maybe a concert, you want something loud, woody, peppery, a little sweet, a lot of ambroxan, you know, that would be fine at a concert. or like a car show, if car shows are still a thing. I don't really know if they are, but the kind of event where people are a little more rugged and out there, a little more casual, a little more energetic, ready to yell and scream and just enjoy a really loud event. Then again, going to a club is like that, but kind of projecting that loudness and that sharpness that Dior would convey at such an event, doing that in more of like a club or a bar or any other kind of outdoor event where people are a little more mellow, a little more chilled out, it's not going to have the same effects. It's not going to draw people in. People might notice you because of it. They may say something because of it. But I don't see this one having the same effect as Eros. And for that reason, within the context of clubbing fragrances, I just don't see this one being as good. So, guys, I kind of just said it, but I'll re emphasize it. The winner of this round has to go to, once again, Versace Eros. I think whether you're going to a club, a concert, an outdoor event, or anything else casual, you can safely put this on and know you're going to rock that event. You're going to know that people are going to notice you, and you're going to convey a message of, hey, look at me, come up and talk to me, I'm a cool guy, right? That's what you get with this one. So I definitely understand why this one has been given the name King of Clubbing Fragrances. When I actually started to compare these fragrances and match them up, go head to head, I really wanted Sauvage to win because I love telling you how much I enjoy Dior fragrances, how great they are, how sexy they are, how appealing. I love Dior fragrances. But unfortunately, when I really got objective and thought about, the club scene specifically, I couldn't do that. And for that reason, the king is here to stay. Versace Eros, so much deserves that title. And I didn't even realize why until I did this. But it is just super meant for the clubs. I don't even know what other words to use for this one. It is just the epitome, the king of clubbing fragrances. And although I actually prefer Sauvage, and if this was an overall battle of best fragrance, Sauvage would have won all three, or two rounds, two of the three, because round two still a draw. But because I was looking at it objectively, or trying to, despite it kind of hurting me to say this, Versace is the king. So we need to bow down to the king of clubbing fragrances. Also, guys, remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern for a mystery triple threat match between three top contending cheapies. I know everybody loves a deal on fragrances. Everybody's wondering about which is the best cheap fragrance to buy. Well, next week, next Saturday, three of them that I think are some of the best that I own are going head to head in a triple threat match. It's going to be intense, and you do not want to miss it. But from all of us here at Fragrance Championship Fighting, I just want to thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Have a nice night.